The home of the common Joe and the common Sally in the know, even more so than all those media talking heads. Well. Here we go again. Another episode of the OCF. That's me, the Outlaw of College Football, also known as JPC, which stands for Jesse Paul Clark on Facebook, spelled Jessc without the I. Also on Twitter at OCF Productions. Now, I've been under the weather for a little bit, so I haven't done a podcast in about 3 or 4 days. I was actually going to take one more day off, but because people keep prodding me about this, I decided I might as well just come in here and address it because they're not going to stop asking me about it. And I really wasn't going to touch it because it involves an Alabama player, and I didn't want to be perceived as a homer, even though when my team deserves to be taken up for, then I'm going to do it. Regardless if they're my team or not, if they're in the right, and I think they're in the right, then I'm going to say they're in the right. Regardless of what the mob and the politically correct or whatever the popular crowd wants you to say. And the situation I'm addressing here is the Brandon Miller situation out here at the University of Alabama. You know, he's a star basketball player for Alabama in one of the more historical runs in their basketball history. He's probably going to be a first-round NBA draft pick, so of course everybody's going to cling to that and immediately try to say that this situation, the reason why he's not being punished in what they deem a fair manner, it's because he's an athlete and because he's got all this stuff in front of him as far as an NBA career. But it's far from that, I assure you. And as far as me being a homer, I'm not a homer. You can go back and check some of my podcasts in the past. I've actually called out Alabama numerous times as well as Nick Saban. So, yeah, I'm not going to be unbiased in this. But I am going to tell you that I'm actually going to take up for Alabama and Brandon Miller in this situation. I know a young lady was killed in this situation and people are irate and they don't want you to disagree with them on anything. They want to blame somebody. And that's fine. Blame somebody. Blame the person that done the shooting. Blame the person that owned the gun that give it to the person that done the shooting. If they're an accessory to the fact, they're at the scene of the crime, then yes, blame them too. But where does the blame stop? Really? Where does the fake outrage stop? Basically, I think this comes back to all those liberal SPASTICs out there that want to get rid of our guns. We want to take your guns away, take away your Second Amendment rights and that kind of thing. This is sort of a backdoor type agenda thing where they can try to sneak in the back door in this whole gun situation. Brandon Miller did bring the gun to Darius, the owner of the gun. The owner of the gun requested that his property be brought to him, and Brandon Miller did it. Now, should Brandon Miller have maybe said, you know what, dude, I'm not going to bring you your gun tonight. It's 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. We'll get it later. But you don't know what was told to Brandon Miller in order to get him to bring the man his property, not Brandon Miller's gun. He could have told him, like, look, man, I feel a little unsafe out here. There's some guys out here that might try to bow up on me or threaten me, and I just want to have it as a deterrent to keep people from possibly attacking me. And I more likely think that's probably what happened. Now, if it comes out that Brandon Miller knew that Darius and this guy that actually shot the girl, that wasn't even Darius, if it comes out that he knew that they were talking about shooting this girl, if they told Brandon Miller, hey, we're going to shoot this girl, then yeah, Brandon Miller probably needs to be punished as an accessory to the fact as well. But I doubt that can be proven, and I doubt that that was said, or Brandon Miller probably wouldn't have brought the man the gun. So the whole everybody's up in arms and the high and mighty hypocrisy, it really irks me a little bit that y'all would want to, try to destroy this man's career over the fact that you just want to try to blame everybody. You always want to blame somebody for something that they really didn't have anything to do with. Another thing is, Brandon Miller brought it to Darius. Okay? Darius is the owner of the gun. And then Darius gives his gun to another person. And they actually done the shooting. So, Brandon Miller, it was a third-party shooting. So he's two people removed from the gun. Also, we're going to blame people that provided the gun. Then where does it stop? Do we go back to the point where maybe it was given to not Brandon, but it's given to Darius? The gun was given to Darius, I don't know, 2 years ago by his father as a present. We're going to go back and punish his father for buying him a present? Really? Or are we going to go back and punish the gun shop that he bought it from? If it wasn't a present, if he went and bought it from a gun shop, we're going to punish them too? You know, it'd be like, you know, put yourself in Brandon Miller's position. Your buddy calls you, a friend of yours, your boy, and says, hey man, I left my gun at my residence. Could you bring it to me? I feel a little unsafe out here. You might be like, hey man, why do you need a gun? You gonna do something crazy? And of course he's probably gonna say, no man, I just need it for protection as a deterrent. What would you do? If he was your best friend or he's one of your better friends, you're probably going to take the man his property. So how are you going to blame Brandon Miller for just taking someone their property? It'd be almost like, you know, me taking my buddy his car and then him getting in the car and putting a car bomb in it and driving into a building and blow the building up. I guess because since I brought him his car and he killed a bunch of people, then I'm an accessory, right? Brandon Miller more than likely did not know the seriousness of the situation. He probably didn't think that this was going to occur, a death was going to occur. I'm sure if they had told Brandon Miller, hey, bring this gun out here so we can cap this girl, I guarantee you that Brandon Miller never brings that gun out there to him. And it just irks me that people are running with this. You even got people that consider themselves reputable podcasts like that 365 Sports Baylor Up the Bear's Ass podcast. Woo! This is big trouble as a looming cloud. It's sad that y'all are taking this and running with it, because I think deep down inside y'all see it as one less team that you might have to compete with in a sport. And a sport's not what should matter here. Now, the only thing in this where I see that there might have been some stuff said or stuff did that shouldn't have took place would be our head coach, Nate Oates. The statement that he made about how he can't control his players and yada, 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 come off as highly insensitive, Nate. I will give him that. Now, Nate has went back and walked that statement back, but it's a little too late for that, Nate. You're just going to have to swallow the pill here and bite the bullet and just go ahead and say, hey, look, I screwed up. I said the wrong thing. Which that's likely what he said. I don't have the statement in front of me. That he walked back. But nevertheless, Nate needs to work on his sensitivity just a little bit. But that's all I got to say about that. You guys and gals, tell me what you think about this situation. Drop it in the comment section down here. Also, there's a heart down here. If you don't mind, hit that. Drop me a few dollars in the coffers. Get me off the YouTube teat. And as always, KMC8 to all the other teams. Class is now officially dismissed.